Howdy, howdy, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Between Two Wolves. I'm here with Nover Fast today, and we're in for a particularly different one. Nover's prepared a full-on presentation for us. How are you today, Nover?
Hello, всем привет. I'm fine. How about you, my bros?
I'm just doing great. It's a little early in the morning for me this morning, so bear with me if I'm a little tired today. So,
Sure, good morning.
what are we doing today? Where are we?
Uh, we are on a trip, and not just any trip, we're on a trip down the memory lane. This is a compilation of nearly all of my points of interest in a chronological order. Um, it's only points of interest, so there are no other builds like Ocean Gate or Quest Arenas or any other builds, so it's just points of interest.
Excellent. Why don't you tell us what you do on the team and how long you've been here and what all the things that you've made are, for those who don't know.
All right, so I've been on the team for almost 3 years. I think I was invited by Square at the July of 2019. I don't remember the exact date, sorry, but that's it. So what I'm doing at the team, I'm mostly a builder, but I'm making quests from time to time, and also making items and mobs, but that's not my main priority. I'm mostly a builder. Yeah.
Very good. What are some of the major things that are in game that people know and they can say, "Oh, Nova made that"?
Uh, the famous Ocean Gate, of course.
Mm-hmm.
This is a city built by me, and I built it for like I think I spent more than 20 hours building it, and it was a pretty fun build.
Very
Other
good.
than that, there is a lot of points of interest, and also Hikort Arena. I built Hikort Arena with Wonder Sim. Uh, we did a great job on that one, I think.
And the Narsen Sea, almost all those POIs are yours, right? If not all of them.
All right. Yeah, so the hardest boys in the Northern Sea, like Cathedral of the Deep, Aphelion Isle, the Bastion of Spires, and Cloud Piercer, are all uh, built by me. And a lot of smaller boys, like Submerged Gateway, for example, were built by other members, not the members, sorry, other players like TK Tom in the case of Submerged Gateway, and Toxin and Compsognathus in the case of Toxin Flap. Uh, that's mostly it.
Nice. How about in R2? Obviously, Grim Towers, because
Yeah,
you're in
Grim
that.
Towers. Yeah, we're in the Grim Towers right now, by the way. Uh, um, I don't recall building any other poly for Region 2 aside from Grim Towers. Yeah, I can recall.
Well, very good. What is your favorite thing that you've made from a build perspective, off the top of your head?
Uh, we'll get to that at the end of
Cool.
this video, so stay tuned.
Oh boy. Oh boy. There's a teaser. This man was made for television right here. Oh well. Let's get into some of the patron questions. How did you come up with your username?
This is quite a story. I came up with my username in late 2015. Back then, I was playing some online first-person shooter called Warface. It's a bad game, by the way. I you shouldn't try it really. But honestly, if I told you that this is just a bunch of random letters, would you believe me?
Not really. It works too well phonetically pronouncing.
I wouldn't believe myself either, but that's how it is. I just like sat for 20 minutes on the login screen, and I tried to type some really cool sounding name, and I came up with this. Originally, my nickname was Nover Fast, as mentioned at the beginning of the video, but I cut it short down to just Nover like 2 years ago. I think that sounds a bit better.
Very nice. How bad is your caffeine addiction, if at all?
Uh, As far as I know, caffeine is not only about coffee, right? Uh, well,
Tea, soda, and coffee, I'd say, are the big three.
I'm a big fan of the tea, but I don't drink coffee at all. Cocoa
Nice.
is my go-to choice.
A.
This is amplified air shrine, by the way.
Oh, cool. Oh man, it's been forever since I've amped Air Shrine. Very good. What is the piece of content that you've helped with that you think you're least fond of?
That's a good
That you
question.
dislike the most?
Dislike the most, huh? Well, I tempted to say shifting, but like I don't really dislike shifting. I think it's great. It's just very dependent on how many water rooms you will get. But shifting rooms will be there. And shifting rooms, by the way, were the first attempt at building in Minecraft. Well,
Nice.
I think we'll get to that story later, if at all.
Sounds good.
But
Did
yeah,
you mostly make water rooms or land rooms in shifting?
um, a little bit of everything. I think one of the biggest water rooms, like the one with the big tower at the middle, was built by me and Pelota back when I was a shard builder. And other rooms are mostly the city type of rooms and jungle type of rooms.
Very nice. What is your favorite thing to play in Monumenta?
Depth, of course.
Nice. How about your least?
And
Oh, go ahead.
also, I would mention late game region 2 dungeons like Teal and the Fallen Form. They are great.
Agreed. Very good. Do you have a favorite dungeon? Is it
Uh,
depths or?
I would say in region 1, it's probably light blue, and in region 2, it's Teal. I think it's Teal.
Nice.
I just love the architectural style and build choice and jumping through different eras. You're still on the same area, but back in time. It's just great.
It's so good.
Yeah.
What's your least favorite thing to play in Monumenta?
Uh, I think I would say in region 1 it's Reverie, and in region 2 it's Grey Dungeon. I know, not popular choice, but that's how it is. Reverie is just so big, and I mostly think that this is a me problem because every time I play in Reverie, I am trying to clear it in a one go, and it obviously
Oh
not
yeah.
meant to be cleared in a one go. This is the old tower, by the way. Um, Gray, I just like I don't really like the palette, but it's not a bad dungeon by all means. I just really don't like it for some reason. I can't even explain why.
That's fair. If you have anything to tell us about like dev commentary about building these as we go through it, please like stop my questions and feel free to answer.
Yeah,
I'd love to hear
sure.
your thoughts. Any stories here?
So as you probably see with the Cream Towers, with the Air Shrine, and with this one, I'm a really big fan of building towers and grand structures like bridges, like castles, all sorts of castles. I just really, it's really inspiring for some reason. So this is like a third installation of a tower. The green towers at the background, the airframe, and this one. This one on a smaller scale though.
For sure.
Uh, this is Rift of the Trollnet. Really not much to show here. It's just a small rift with some supplies for the for the beginners. But if I were a new player, I wouldn't go there.
Hmm. That is such a detailed build. I love your aquatic ones. So,
Oh, thanks.
if you could change anything about both the content that you like the most and like the least, what would you change?
I'll start with the list. I think Reverie is fine as is. It's just like it's not really a dungeon problem. It's a me problem, as I mentioned. And Gray, I would get rid of that tunnels uh, inside the walls and make a big cavern instead with smaller points of interest where the summoners located. I think that would be much more interesting to explore. As for the content I like, well, the devs are very close to be perfect, and I
Hmm.
really don't think I would change anything here. Um, and Teal and Forum are kinda also there. There, great. Not really much to change here.
Well, all right. Who is your favorite other team member?
All right, my bros, give me. I would say that. Okay, let's start off. Um, so, if you would be so kind, my bros, could you please tell Aristotle, Fanbride, Monarch, and Walter that they are my favorite team members?
Oh, well, I'll pass that along to them. That's sweet.
Nice. Nice.
That's very nice.
This is a Aphelion Isle, by the way. As you can see, it differs a lot from the previous builds, mainly because of the palette. And it's meant to be on the harder end. So the it's mostly flat though. I I I, I kind of dislike how it turned out, but over time I
Oh,
do.
I love this one. What do you dislike about it?
I know it's just like the smaller towers, the architecture overall, I think could be better.
All right, you're the expert. Does this include the underwater caves? Is that part of Aphelion, or is that technically separate?
The underwater caves are separate, and we'll get to that at the end. The last point of interest will be the Cathedral of the Deep, the waterless version, by the way.
Nice.
Yeah, sure, continue.
No, go ahead.
We are approaching the Bastion of Spires.
Yeah.
This is my glory. This
Understandably.
is the point of interest I probably like the most, aside from that Region 3 Poe we will show you at the end. And it's just beautiful, like from every angle, it's just great. It I got a heavy inspiration from Simulation Protocol 3, made by Tikaro, and it's a very Dark Souls feeling type of point of interest, and I tried to convey this feeling, and I think I kind of succeeded.
So you mentioned Tikaro, so you're definitely coming from the CTM scene. What's your history with CTMs?
Oh, that's my favorite question. I anticipated it the most. So I have quite the history with the CDMs. I
Oh
started
boy.
playing CDMs back in 2013, and I started playing Minecraft in 2012. So my first CDM was Lethamur by Vex.
Oh man.
That's kinda a bad choice, I know, but back then I quite enjoyed the map, even though I never finished it. And I tried to finish it for like 2 times, but I just like lost the drive when I tried to play it for a long time. Um, I kind of like Vex maps, and not the latest one. Like Isolation was bad, and the new map he's working on, I don't know the name, but I know it requires some mods.
Mhm.
It's just it's also bad. But his early maps like Legendary, for example, Legendary
Mhm.
is kind of cool. And Spellbound Caves, of course, I could not mention the Spellbound Caves. This
Yeah.
is a great map. Though it's not my favorite. My favorite is kind of controversial, I know, but Waking Up is my favorite map. I also like the Infernal Mines. It was great.
Good choices all. I really like Waking Up. I didn't know that was controversial.
I thought I'm not
Maybe.
sure myself either. Maybe it's not.
Nice picks. So, how did you move from Vex maps to, say, Takaro's? Or all the others?
uh, in between Vex and Tikaro, there was an amazing series called Ragecraft.
Yeah.
I played all three Ragecraft maps: so Ragecraft 1, Ragecraft 3, and Ragecraft 2. Uh, this is like this is what a CTM should look like, in my opinion. It's interesting to play, very fun arenas, very fun mechanics. And if I were to build my own CTM map, I would try to make it as fun as Ragecraft series. After Halizio, the author of the Ragecraft series maps, I played another series. Consists of 3 maps at the moment, but back then it was 2 maps. So the Pantheon series made by a lot of people, and I know Fangrade was one of the developers on that one. So there was a Pantheon. The second map was called Titan's Revolt, and the
Mm.
third map, the last installation, is Divine Descent. That I like the list, by the way. I just doesn't strike me as good as the previous two. Um, what else? So there was smaller scale maps like Discordancy. Um, there was also a very old map called the Midnight Gloom. It was big. It was pretty interesting too. I have never played Vinyl Fantasy, and I have never played what was it called? Vinyl Fantasy. Uncharted Territory.
Mm. Amlet.
But yeah, is the author of the Uncharted Territory. But I think one day I will get there eventually. There is
Nice.
also Timarian Memories by Chipmunk, but I never played. I played only the fifth map, Timarian Memories 5.
Very good. Do you have, was his Ragecraft your favorite, or do some others stand out?
I have a top 3 favorite maps.
Do tell.
The third place is Titan's Revolt. The second is, I would probably say, Simulation Protocol 3. And number 1 is Ragecraft 3.
Good choices.
Thanks.
What are your thoughts about the direction of modern CTM maps?
I think it's tolerable. It's not. It's They feel different. They feel way different from Vex maps. They feel way different from Ragecraft maps, but they are not bad. They're just different, and that's it. And I kind of like it. I played a bunch of new maps. I think the last one was Saturnine Memories. I sadly do not remember who built that one, but it was pretty good.
Nice.
Uh, and I also mentioned Divine Descent, but I dislike it for a number of reasons, and it would take a lot of time uh, to tell them all. It just doesn't give the same like vibe as Titan's Revolt and Pantheon gave me when I first tried it.
Sure. Do you have any particular favorite map makers that are still active that you would follow?
Elitso is making Ragecraft 4,
I'm
and
so
I'm
excited.
very excited for this one. We just passed Bastion of Spires, by the way, which leads to another glorified structure. This one is Cloud Piercer. It was built first, and only after I built the Cloud Piercer, I built the Bastion of Spires, and I think this looks just as epic.
Tell us about it.
So this, I have a. I, let's start from somewhere distant. I really like real-time strategies, like Red Alert 2, CNC series, and Warcraft. They are all great. This building was inspired by a mod called Mental Omega for Red Alert 2. There was a structure named Cloud Piercer, which is kind of the same if you Google it up, but at the same time, it's quite different. So I got the inspiration from the Cloud Piercer from the modification for Red Alert 2.
That's awesome. That's funny to me that you like Red Alert 2 as a Russian because it's so hostile to the
Yeah,
Russians.
it's kind of
That's
crazy, I
hilarious.
must admit.
Oh, that's delightful. Um, do you have any thoughts on any of the upcoming releases, like the Deep Dark or for Minecraft? Sorry.
Deep Dark is, well, it's good and it's bad at the same time because Mojang failed to deliver what they promised, but it's also good because they
What's
delivered
new?
the birch forest. Oh wait, what? I think I got it wrong. Like I thought they should have add the birch forest to the game, but they didn't. Was it scheduled for 1.19? I don't remember. So anyway, I think 1.19, the Deep Dark, is great. Uh, I am really excited to use Sculk blocks, and I'm really excited to explore this new sound mechanic. And I think it would be really fun to build some cool traps with it. But we'll see more in Region 2. Uh, this is Cathedral of the Deep. It's the name was inspired by Dark Souls 3, by the way, and it looks monumental, but it's actually not that big. The cave in which the building resides is bigger.
It's such a great discovery. I love how you hid that down there.
Thanks.
It's so much fun to swim through those caves for the first time. It's a reveal. What's something you regret about Monumenta? Either something that you haven't been able to do that you'd like to, or something that happened that you wish you could take back?
Well, when I just joined the team, I always wanted to make another Region 1 expansion themed around bandits, but it never got into the game, as you can see. What else? What else?
Like an expansion like the Grove?
Yeah, the Grove. Maybe amplified version of dungeons too. And I'm not talking about elves. I'm talking about like what's an amplified Air Shrine to basic Air Shrine. Like new layout, new mobs, new threats. That would be awesome, but it would take so much time to just make one dungeon, and would have more than 20 of those. It would be a nightmare to build.
I like that idea a lot. If that ever happened,
Yeah.
that'd be exciting.
Very.
When you first started out, did you feel overwhelmed or that you had to be perfect as a developer?
So are you trying to say you must not be perfect to join Team Monumenta?
No, everyone before they come has everything. They're just as good as they can possibly be right at the beginning.
Of course, I'm just joking.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So, like, to this day, I still think that all of my releases must be as perfect as possible. Like, spending a lot of time attending to details in both building and quests. Attending, yeah. And it, I think that um, that should be the standard. Like, we shouldn't rush things. We should take a lot of time and and thought things out. And of course, I never rush my releases. Like, this one was. Uh, I take a lot of time to build this Cathedral of the Deep. I take a lot of time to build Cloudpiercer and other toys, and I take a lot of time to make quests.
Well, that's
Uh,
surprising because you're so fast anyway. It feels like you come out with a lot of stuff.
yeah, that just kind of happens sometimes.
That's awesome. Was there ever a time that you felt like you were going to scrap a project entirely after putting a whole lot of time into it?
Well,
Or did you?
uh, I I can think only of a project that is not originated when I was on the team. So before I joined the team, I was a build chart member, and I built two dungeons here. One dungeon was called Mosswood Grotto. I built it with the Peloton, and it was gigantic. It was really gigantic, and sadly, it was fully finished, but sadly, it never made it into the game in its current state. It was like dissected for the shifting rooms. And I also had a nice theme dungeon on the build chart, but this was repurposed for the growth labs branch in the forum.
I didn't know that. That's cool.
Hmm.
Oh boy. What could this be?
Yeah, we are approaching something really cool. This is Silver's Child still. So let's venture there, shall we?
We shall.
Yeah.
Oh
Once
boy.
again, welcome to Silver Strike Bastille. This is a giant fortress standing near the ocean, and it's among the hardest points of interest in the. I'm actually not sure if I should say that here. Let's say this is among the hardest points in the forest biome of Region 3.
Cool.
So let's take a stroll, shall we? It's a bit outdated version. In the current form, there are placers spawned. There are spawners placed, and the surroundings of the Bastille are all done. And I assure you that the surroundings of the Bastille are just as great as the point of interest itself. So it's quite non-linear, as you can see.
Do you make the terraforming, the environments around it as well?
Yes and no. I had a basic landscape made by Chipmunk, and I built around it. I added, I removed, and all that builder things.
Awesome. Do you have a favorite bit of Monumenta drama?
Mm, I think, yeah, it's it's a build chart drama and was related to Maswood Grotto, but I won't go into the details.
Okay.
It will be a long story.
That's fine. What was your favorite subject in school?
My favorite subject in school was math and English.
Very good. Have those impacted your work here at all?
Well, English, obviously,
Sure.
and math.
We're having this conversation.
Math to a lesser degree. I think that, like, as a mathematician, you have to pay attention to the stuff like symmetry, stuff like when it comes to building, it's mostly symmetry. So I guess something from math I did indeed brought here.
When you speak of symmetry, like algebraical symmetry, like whatever you do on either side of the equal sign, how do you mean?
Yeah. No, not the algebraical symmetry, but geometrical symmetry.
Ah, okay. Very good. What is the most difficult bug that you've encountered,
The most difficult bug.
or any issue in development? A technical issue.
Let me think. Um, I think it was mentioned in one of the videos where the points of interest upon respawning, they were like moved one block in either direction, and they offsetted the terrain around it. It is a hell to fight with, and I'm kind of glad it was resolved. I wouldn't really like to encounter that bug again. That would be a nightmare.
Understandably. Do you have any cool scars?
Well, I wouldn't say cool scars, but I have one on my right ear. It happened when I was 8, I think. We were playing outside with the other kids, and for some reason, someone had thought that throwing rocks at each other is a brilliant idea. Let me tell you, it's not.
Hmm.
Well, let's say I was caught in a crossfire and tanked a rock with my face,
Oof.
with my ear to be precise, and I had a scar ever since. I still, I still can feel it, but it's nearly invisible.
Oh, that's good. So since all dev work is voluntary, what keeps you motivated to keep doing stuff? And you're so prolific and you make so much. I'm personally very curious about your answer on this one.
Well, it's the ability to showcase my work to other people. Like I really am enjoying when other people get to experience something that I made and they leave a feedback, be it a bad feedback or a good feedback. I'm always reading the feedback and I'm really relieved to hear it. And it just brings me a lot of joy when people playing my content, and that's it. This alone keeps me going.
Well said. Do you have a particularly embarrassing skill issue moment in Monumenta? As a
Oh, I
player?
do.
Ooh, do tell.
So, back when I was just playing the game, I there was no graves at the moment, and I lost my warden in Magenta, and I was a skill level 4, skill level 5 player back then. So I haven't really completed light blue or purple. Oh, purple, yellow. And I just lost my warden in the water section of Magenta, and that was really a hard strike to me.
I'm glad it didn't completely drive you away from the game.
Oh no,
An
it
epic
would take
loss, especially a
it,
warden. That's rough.
it would take a bit more to completely drive me away from the game.
How did you discover Monumenta?
That's a good question. I think I just saw a video and like the trailer. I'm not really sure under which circumstances, but I just kind of stuck upon it, and I was like, yeah, I want to play something like that. Back then, I didn't own the license of Minecraft, so I just like a year after I bought a license at Minecraft and was just give it a try, and I was really enjoying the game.
Very nice. Is there anything that you really wish the player base would stop doing? Could be something that's annoying or actually demotivating for you.
Please stop parrot spamming in Patreon channel.
I'm so with you, man. Why don't you tell the non-patrons who watch this what that's about, who don't see that?
Uh, I don't really sure about the origins, but just one day recently, someone posted a parrot emoji in the Patreon channel, and then it just came like a hurricane on the clear weather, and ever since there were parrots in Patreon channel.
So many parrots in Patron Channel.
Every day, I think.
Oh, good answer. Why is Monumenta special to you?
I think there are several things that keeps Monumenta special. It's the people that making the Monumenta. Like before I started playing Monumenta, I knew about Fangred because I played Discordancy and I played Pantheon, as I mentioned before, and he was a builder on all of these. And I was like, God damn, that's fun, right? I know that guy, and I want to kind of play alongside with him. Don't think that ever happened though, but that's one thing. And other thing is just like how immersive the game feels. It was immersive back then, and it as hell immersive right now.
Amen. I think Fang was also one of the names I recognized too from like Signs and Ragecraft. I'd never really noticed it before, but yeah, it's funny how his name is such a thing in the collective consciousness of CTMs.
He's everywhere.
He is. What do you enjoy doing outside video games?
Um,
Hobbies?
well, is programming a hobby?
Yeah, of course.
So I love programming. I am making a mod for Terraria. It's called
Oh,
yeah, it's called Rise of Ages, and it's kind of on hiatus right now. But uh, it's supposed to bring more new content to the game. Also, don't mind the background. I'm just experimenting here.
that's pretty
So it's
cool.
thanks, thanks. So it's supposed to be like a new content in the style of other content mods like Calamity mod or Thoria mod. If you know what I'm talking about,
Oh, I do.
I'm sure some of the viewers will also understand what I'm talking about.
Absolutely. I hope you share it with us when you're done.
Hmm. So that's kind of it. I'm just making a mod right now. Well, not making really. Just like I'll getting there from time to time, sit down and code a couple of things, and then just leave for a lot of time. So I guess that counts as a hobby.
Definitely. That's a very productive hobby.
Thanks.
How far out do you think that mod is from being done?
I'd say like around 70 to 80%.
Cool.
I'm not the only developer on the mod. We have a bunch of people working on it, and we even have a post on Terraria forums. So if any of the viewers will be interested, you can search it. You can do
Rise of Ages?
Age.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. What has surprised you most about making Monumenta?
I would say the team. I've been in a couple of teams before, and this is what a true team should look like.
Oh.
Like there are almost no restrictions when it comes to adding content, and it's like constant meetings with the other team members, and generally I just like the atmosphere in the team. It's very inspiring.
That's a great answer. I love that.
Thanks.
We love having you too. You're a great team member, Nover.
Thanks.
Not that I would know, because I'm Mob Ross and not a dev.
Yeah, of course.
What's your fondest memory actually playing Monumenta and your favorite memory developing it?
Oh, playing Monumenta. I have a good answer for that. The PvP.
Really?
Uh, yeah, for those who
Huh.
don't know what I'm talking about, at one point we in between the server updates every week we had a special game mode with a PvP on it, and it was hella cool, really. And I kind of wish it will return someday, but uh, it's good to dream sometimes, right?
It's always good to dream.
As for developing Monumenta, I would say the moment when I stopped being an intern and become a full team member. It was I think that was the very first quest I released, the Treasure of the Past quest, was what brought me from internship to the full team member.
Sorry, which quest?
The Treasure of the Past.
Nice. Okay. I don't think I knew that. I thought it was a build that got you your full dev. That's cool.
Mhm.
Which quests have you made aside from Treasure to the Past and Burning Bright? I'm trying to
Uh,
remember.
aside from these two, Taurus Night and Into Thin Air, it's the two questions in Ocean. It's the two quests in Ocean Gate, and I suggest to play it. They are a really great quests. Also, there is one more quest in the making, but I won't say much more than that.
Hype. You got a
Yeah,
lot in the.
hype.
You got a lot developing here. What is your favorite video game and why?
Favorite games. So I have a couple of games. The Dark Souls series are my favorite series. But I also love sci-fi games and horror games like Dead Space, for example, is a great combination of these two genres. And I also playing some indie games like Terraria, like Geometry Dash. Mm, what else? Well, that's kind of it. And old school RTS games like Command and Conquer and Red Alert and Warcraft,
Nice.
stuff
What's your
like
favorite
that.
RTS?
Red Alert 2,
Cool.
followed by Tiberian Sun.
Very nice choices.
Yep.
What are some of your other favorite things? Favorite movie, TV show, music, color,
Mm, Favorite
anime,
movies.
whatever.
So let's start with movies. I like the Kill Bill trilogy.
Hey.
Yeah, filmed by Quentin Tarantino. It's a great one, and I suggest to watch it. It's kind of gory though.
Yeah.
Um, the actress Uma Thurman is great. I also like the acting. As for TV shows, well, I I watched Doctor Who. Uh, it's a great TV show, and I also suggest to watch it.
Who's your favorite
Uh,
doctor?
I have two favorite doctors. The 10th Doctor, starred by David Tennant, and the 12th Doctor, starred by Peter Capaldi. Um, as for color, I have two favorite colors: orange and gray. Well, gray was obvious. I mean, almost all of my builds are
Thank
kind of,
goodness there's so many gray blocks.
yeah, in
You
the
make
grayish,
good use
so
of them.
thanks. And orange, unexpectedly. Um, Favorite music? Well, I'm a big fan of electronic dance music, uh, progressive house in particular, and dubstep.
Cool. Do you have who are some of your favorite artists who do that sort of thing? I know nothing about that genre.
Mm, So, like, there are a lot of dubstep makers, but among the popular, I'd say F777, Slushy, Rogue, and, well, Subtact. There is also folk like who make Progressive House, Porter Robinson, Madeon, Violet.
Hey, I do know him.
Yeah, they are great musicians.
Very good. What do you draw from most when you develop and build and just everything you do for Monumenta? What inspires you most? What do you pull
I
from?
just kinda the single source of inspiration is Dark Souls and, well, unsurprisingly, Elden Ring. But when I start building something, I just like Google something along the lines like fantasy castles or fantasy towers, and I just look at it and I'm like, yeah, I want to build something like that.
Awesome. What were your thoughts on Elden Ring, especially as a veteran of the series?
It's a great game, but it has its flaws. Mainly, it's overflowed with bosses and um, kinda there are a lot of weapons that simply not used that you can't use on a constant basis because you don't have enough materials to upgrade all the stuff you find.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like overflowed with content in some ways.
Perfectly reasonable. I agree.
Hmm.
Why don't you tell us something about yourself that I would have never thought to have asked you?
Well, I always wanted to make my own city map series, and actually, I have a concept, a pretty solid concept, I'd say, but I never got to it. And I hope that one day I will be able to make it.
Do you want to tell us about it?
Well, it's just a concept. There is not much done, and I think that I have only the names for the maps themselves, but nothing more than that. It's just it. You can
That
go
was really
far.
cool.
Yeah, you can go far with just the concepts.
You have definitely put the most effort into preparing for this interview of anyone by far. I don't think anyone's ever going to top you on that.
Thanks.
That was a really cool tour.
Sure.
Do you have any closing thoughts or statements that you want to say? Anything you want to tell the patrons, the viewers?
Yeah, the Region 3 will be awesome, and I encourage you to wait on it. That's kind of
Very good. Well, Nover, thank you so much for your work, for being a part of this team, for making a great game with us, and for talking with me today.
sure. Thank you, my bros.
Well, thank y'all for watching, and we'll talk to you later.
Всем
Goodbye.
пока. Goodbye.